Guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over in the test account and the patch notes are up, which means we have access to the brand new Draconic hero, which we're going to be breaking down this video. But first of all, I want to look at the regular Draconic heroes and really the summoning. So if you have not built a couple heroes, including Scion, absolutely pivotal, absolutely meta in a lot of different formations, as well as Valkyria, overall, you can drop them in the wish list, you can summon them, and I feel like right now is a pretty good time to summon them if you do not have them with diamonds, with your scrolls, because now we add the addition of Umbriel, which of course is the newest hero we're seeing. Now, interesting enough, warrior continuous damage. Want to run through the skills and abilities, and this is not a highborn Draconic hero. I got a lot of questions. I got a lot of questions over on YouTube. I'm talking about not another highborn Draconic hero. This is not a highborn Draconic hero. This is a regular Draconic hero. So let's run through these skills and abilities and take a look at exactly what he is doing. So the Umbriel Radiance, and again, they've been doing a lot with the passive side and the active side. It seems like this is something that they're on a really big kick. The first normal attack is a shade attack. All shade attacks reduce the damage an enemy unit deals by 30%. So there's going to be a major debuff in there. All blaze burst attacks apply flash burn on enemy units, increasing the damage they take by 20 seconds. So think about that right off the bat. They're going to be doing less damage for that 7 seconds, and we're going to increase the damage they're going to take. And this is the passive effect. So you're going to boost the damage that they're taking. That makes it very imperative for boss fights. That makes it work incredibly well when you think of treasure scramble, burst teams, shutting them down with this hero. So active deals 2 strikes of damage equal to 270% of the attack rating to the enemy's units within range. So now he's going to hit multiple people. First strike is the shade attack. The second strike is the blaze burst attack. So we're going to have both of them right there, guys. Very interesting to see. Damage goes up to 320. Passive effect is enchanted. Shade attacks reduce the enemy unit the damage an enemy unit deals by 45%. And the effect duration goes to 8 seconds. So a little bit of an increase there. Blaze burst attacks increase the damage an enemy unit takes by 30%, while the effect duration is increased to 8 seconds. So again, you're having a 30% window where you're going to be doing more damage with this hero, which is huge. And it says it increases the damage unit takes. I believe that is in its entirety. Again, one target boss fight, that's going to make a big difference. Looking at Dawn Chaser, teleports the allied hero that has an enemy hero near it, knocks the enemy back. Now we have a crowd control aspect in here, dealing this dragon speak damage of the attack rating and stunning them briefly. Again, this is the crowd control aspect. At the same time, he grants the ally a luminous orb, causing their next strike of damage to be followed by a blaze burst attack, which we know is going to do that additional damage, or that blaze burst right here going to allow them to take a little bit more damage, causing their next turn to become the blaze burst, and applying flash burn. So flash burn is important. Umbriel is invincible and untargetable while the skill is active. Skill prioritizes allied heroes that have dealt the highest damage. So you're going to be giving this buff to your damage dealers, which is going to be kind of crazy. Damage of the follow-up blaze burst goes to 220% of the attack rating. While the ally holds the luminous orb, tenacity goes up. Again, the crowd control aspect in there. All of Umbriel's shade attacks deal 30% more damage to targets affected by flash burn. Wow. Seems like he's going to be pretty good on the damage front. Then we have Shadow Dash. Dashes to the enemy that has dealt the highest damage, stunning them briefly, dealing multiple strikes of Dragon Speak damage, equal to 100% of the attack rating. He is again invincible and untargetable while the skill is active. Final skill is a shade attack. The skill prioritizes targets that have not been selected by the skill before. Dragon Speak goes to 150, goes to 200. All shade attacks reduce the duration of attribute buffs on the target by 4 seconds. If the target does not have any attribute buffs, they are stunned for 5 seconds. That's a really long stun. You know, we've seen some 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Now we're up to a 5-second stun in here. That is pretty impressive. Again, PvP going to be an absolute requirement. Then the Shadow Clone. When an enemy hero has taken a total of 3 shade attacks, a shadow will appear beside them for 9 seconds. Up to 5 shadows can be presented on the battlefield. So it's kind of like Baden. Think of the original version of Baden where you can have a multitude of shadows. Shadows are immune to control effect, but can be attacked, but cannot be killed. Wow, so he's bringing up shadows that can be attacked, but cannot be killed by attacks. All right. Shadows emit an aura that inflicts health loss equal to 250% of the attack rating. Now, health loss, that's going to be interesting to see if it's going to be erosion. Every second to enemy units within range, this health loss is not considered a shade or a blaze burst attack. When the enemy hero has taken a total of 2 shades, shadow will appear. Duration goes to 12 seconds. When uses Shadow Dance, all shadows will also use the skill at the same time. Again, very similar to what we've seen with the original version of Baden. So that is kind of crazy. The SI, which is the Gloom Dawn song, which of course is that weapon. And visually, guys, he looks awesome. For every 12% of the max health a shadow takes as damage before it disappears, the attack power of the next cast of the Umbriel Radiance be increased to 10%. Multiple shadows have disappeared before it is used. Highest increase will be used. There we go. So every 8%, it goes down right there. So going to be doing a lot more damage in there. The plus 20 when a shadow disappears, nearby enemy units are terrified. So we have a crowd control again in there with the terrified when a shadow disappears. When an enemy unit within normal range of a shadow, the shadow's normal attack will have the same effect as Umbriel's normal attack, dealing dragon speak damage. Now you're going to have a bunch of shades doing dragon speak damage. These attacks are not considered shade or blaze burn. Every time he uses Dawn Chaser or Shadow Dance, he gains 4 seconds of the Phantom State, during which 75% of the damage will be absorbed. When the Phantom State ends, the absorbed damage will be converted into a shield. All right, survivability is not going to be an issue for this hero at all. Furniture gets in, all Blaze Burst attacks ignore 75% of a target shield. Again, PvP, this is going to be huge. Crit attacks from the Radiance ignore the target's defense and increase the duration of most of the attribute debuffs by 6 seconds. 9 of 9 furniture absolutely going to be required. That is awesome to see in there. And then again, this is going to be the massive crowd control there with the 5-second stun. And then it seems like a 60 is going to be required because getting the extra skill on those shadows are going to be very imperative in there to really maximize what this hero is doing. Again, visually looks very cool. Let's see what this looks like here. If it comes out, we have the multiple attacks. There is the shadow. So it's attacking the shadow, but it doesn't look like the shadow's doing anything. And then the shadow died right there. Again, there's the shadow. The shadow doesn't move. Shadow is stationary, but I love that he just kind of flies around the battlefield. There's the crowd control. Yeah, very interesting. So it's almost like a decoy in there. Let me try this by himself and see what this looks like in here. He doesn't have a cheap death. He goes down very quickly there. So who do we have in here to kind of support him? Let's put a Kinesis and Rook. Again, crowd control, that's going to make a big difference. We'll even throw Meleon in here just to kind of buff up some of the Draconic hero. I mean, it seems like he does a lot of damage. And there he goes. Teleports right down here with Dragon Speak. Look how Leonardo pretty quick in there. And yeah, I see the shadows moving down here. Yeah, that's kind of odd because some of the shadows were moving. Yeah, 4.41 million. It seemed like some of the shadows were moving. Let's put him in just a group. And I'm wondering if, again, survivability, it seemed like he has the ability to mitigate a lot of damage. Let's throw, say, a buffer in there. We'll throw in 2 of our buffers. And we'll go ahead and drop her in here as well. I think we're probably going to burn through this pretty quick. And again, the Dragon Speak damage. And it's weird that he just stands there when it comes out, but he is right in the thick of it, right in the bottom. Meleon bringing everyone together. Boom. And I feel like Velfura and Melion are gonna have a really do some big difference in there. And you can see right there that the shadow does attack, so it wasn't stationary. What was going on here? Maybe it's because they just die so quick here. It comes right out of the ground. And again, visually very cool. There is the shadow. In here, he's just straight up attacking the shadow. The shadow can't die till it finally fades. And there we go. So we have another one right back here. Yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting to see. Overall, I feel like he is going to have some utility. There's going to be some places he is absolutely going to be required. Now he has agility and he is also a warrior. Continuous damage, which seems exactly what he's going to do. In a couple formations, I could see him being used, especially because he does have a couple forms of crowd control. Guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.